All right, guys, welcome back. This is Rob Caputo. This is Talking with Cars, and today's going to be a fun one. What I want to do is I want to take an $18 foam cannon that I got from Amazon and see if I can get this foam cannon to have the same performance, the MJJC, right? So this is kind of like the top dog now, and everybody's using it. All the detailers that I see on YouTube are using it. You know, there's other brands out there like Active and MTM, and there's a few other ones out there, but this is definitely the go-to for many different detailers. So the question is why, number one, why does everybody typically use this? Now, there's a couple reasons, right? Number one, it's got the clear bottle, right? That's good, so you can see the chemicals that you put inside, the soaps and all that kind of stuff. You can see where you're at. It's got this really nice wide mouth and cool connection detail, right? So it's one quick quarter turn twist and it's sealed up tight, so it's a really nice option. It's got all the different bells and whistles, like you can open and close it, you can spin it back and forth, you can do all that kind of fun stuff, right? So when I went out on Amazon and I found this, now that's $90. This is $18. So I'm asking myself, even if I were to modify this slightly, maybe make some slight modifications, maybe the pull tube inside of it, I don't know if you notice, like this pull tube kind of moves up and down so that, you know, if the soap is at the bottom, it's going to draw the material into your manifold. This one is kind of stuck up in that direction, not moving anywhere. But for $9, you can get a kit on Amazon. You could pick this up, right? It's a flexible silicone, probably not as flexible as the MJJC. It's got a screen in here, stainless steel ball with a screen at the bottom. You know, that's pretty cool. So for $9, you know, it's a simple upgrade, and I'll do that no matter what, right? I don't think that's going to affect how it performs. It's not going to affect the foam, all that kind of stuff. But back at the MJJC, so the reason why people get the MJJC is because it is a very good foam. It just kind of coats the car with like almost like a shaving cream type consistency. So everyone likes that, right? And it plays well with all different types of soaps. There's not one soap out there that just doesn't, you know, work with this. It kind of works with everything. So the question is what needs to be changed in that $18 one to make it perform the same way as this $90 one? Even if we had to spend $10, $15, $20, you're still at $28, $38, and you're getting a really kick butt, you know, foam cannon. So I don't know. That's kind of what I want to try to do, right? I bought a couple things. I bought the pull, obviously the draw tube. I don't think that's going to make any difference. What's really going to make the difference is two things. Number one, the orifice that's inside of here, right, that dictates the pressure at which the water flows through the manifold. That can be changed from a 1.25, which is on this one and on that one. But I'm going to double check, right, because everyone's metrics on that, right, are a little bit different. So what I'm going to do to test that is I'm going to test the PSI on the power washer. So if this is hitting 1200 PSI with the 1.25 orifice, and this one supposedly has a 1.25 orifice, I'm going to switch that, and it's pulling, I don't know, 900, then I'm going to drop this down to a 1.1 orifice to increase the pressure, increase the water flow, increase the draw of material out of the canister, and hopefully get more foam. The second thing that I'm going to look at and I'm going to change is I'm going to change the actual screen. And the reason why I say that and the reason why I want to do that is because I believe there's a difference in the quality of the screens, right? The filter screens. Because if you really look and you do a little bit of research and you kind of scope through all these foam cannons, a lot of foam cannons call that system that's up here the foam generator. So it's not necessarily just the water pressure and the orifice that dictates how much foam you're going to get on the car. It's also the foam generator and the screen at which the material rushes through. And that's what's going to give you the, you know, shaving cream type consistency. So I think it's a combination of things. So what I want to do is, number one, I want to hook up both these. I'm going to put the same exact material. I happen to get this from Wayne. Thank you, Wayne. This is his ultra thick foam, pH neutral, cherry fragrance. This is his shampoo, and it's supposed to be really nice. So I'm kind of anxious to try that out. And I'm going to use his foam in here. Same concentration, right? So I'm going to use 3 ounces with, like, you know, he says to use 444 milliliters. I think that's a little light. I'm going to go to like 600 milliliters of water, put 3 ounces of soap, and that's going to be a high concentration, right? So I'm going to try to do that and use both these cannons independently to see what shows up on the car, you know, how foamy it is, right? So I'm going to prove to you why MJJC is really good, but I'm also going to try to get to a point where this $18 one with a couple modifications can do just as well. I'm hoping. I don't know. I'm doing this like live. I'm doing this kind of like the spur of the moment because I bought the parts and I said, you know what, let's try to do this. So it doesn't seem too complicated to open this up. There's like a pin right here that you pull out, and you should be able to pull this whole thing forward and get to that screen. I'm going to change the draw tube. Yeah, let's get right to it. So let's take it apart. This is Talking with Cars. Woo! All right, so first things first, I'm going to change out this draw tube. No matter what, I'm going to want to change out the draw tube. So let's just do that. Get rid of this, you know, cheap one and install the new draw tube. Let's go with red, so it's a little bit different. It's interesting. They give you pins to clean the little like sieve that's at the bottom of the draw tube, which I think is interesting. But they give you extras. And all this is I'm going to measure this up and then cut it to size and then get this onto this like little rib nipple that's right here, right? And then we're going to go ahead and try that out. So looks like it's going to fit perfectly. Let's measure it up. Let's try going with right here. If I have to cut more, I will. Let's see what that looks like. Maybe a little too long. All right, so this one kind of moves around, right? So it's got the stainless steel ball at the end, a nice sieve at the end. Actually, I could probably cut it down a little bit further. All right, perfect. All right, awesome. So it moves up and down. Again, not as freely as the one that's in the MJJC. They just use a high quality silicone, but this one seems to be working out pretty well. So that's been changed. We're good to go with that. Let's fill this up with water first, each one of these cannons, and check the PSI. Let's just check how much pressure is coming through this unit so we can kind of play with the orifice size, all right? All right, so I just wanted to double check something because I know both manufacturers had said that their orifices that are inside these units are both 1 1/4. And I don't see any stamps on neither one of them. But I checked with both manufacturers and they both say that both of these little orifices that are in there, right, you can see that, are 1.25s. But it doesn't say. So we're gonna have to take their word for it. Put it back in here. I was just curious to see if there was any labeling, but on neither one of them there wasn't any labeling, so we're just going to take their word for it that they're both 1.25s and see if there's any difference in the pressure of the water rushing through the foam cannon. So I'm just going to use plain old water, right? Nothing more, nothing less, so that we can kind of check pressure. All right, so let's go with the MJJC first, since that's the golden standard. And let's connect this. Turn on the unit. All right, so I'm looking at the gauge right now, and I'm running at 1300 PSI. All right, so 1300 PSI for the MJJC. Let's go grab the $18 Amazon special. All right, so this is by the way, this is sooprinse, by the way, just so you know. Sooprinse is the name of the company. Let's find out real quick. So we're at 1600. So rather than going to a 1.1 orifice on this, I want to see if I can go to a 1.25, which according to them is in this one. So you can't blame the PSI, right? The PSI is not the issue. So before I do anything, I think what I want to do is I want to change out this screen that's in here and the foam generator and see if that makes a difference. But let's fill these up with soap and then try it out. All right, so after that test, I was so curious to see. I wanted to actually physically take both of those orifices that are in here, the 1.25 that's in the MJJC and the 1.25 that's in this one, and kind of like look at them side by side. We do have these pins that come along with the screens, so I want to like kind of put the pin through there and see if there's like any differences. I find that so like fascinating, you know, like there's no really like set standard for this, and all these different manufacturers are doing different things, and I think that's part of the problem, that there's no uniformity to it, you know, that there's no like set standard. Everyone's kind of got their own nomenclature, their own like little thing. So let's do this. Let's take the orifice out of the MJJC and see what that looks like. Right, and that's all you do. You just basically take a flathead screwdriver and then spin it out. And then you got it right here, okay? So you'll see that. Right, that's what that looks like, okay? And then we're gonna take this pin that comes along with our new screens that we purchased. All right, so it kind of like easily goes through this with absolutely no issue whatsoever. And there's a little bit of wiggle room. I don't think you're going to be able to see the physical difference because the holes in these things are so small. But let's try. I think that's, you know, I just wanted to do this because I thought it would be a fun experiment. Kind of play around with these units and see if I can get this sooprinse unit to kind of work the same as a $90 one. Let's see. All right, so this is the sooprinse one, right? No, this is definitely thinner. Definitely. There's like less wiggle room, and I can kind of feel it at the exit point right here. Right? It kind of like stands on its own, right? Straight. I don't know if you can see that. And then this one, yeah, there's a lot more wiggle room in that one, okay? So we can't blame the PSI. The PSI is not what's generating the foam or anything like that. So I don't really think that changing the orifice is really going to make that much of a difference, right? I mean, I really don't, right? Because I'm getting great foam out of this MJJC, and it's running at, what did I say, 1300 PSI. I'm getting less foam out of the sooprinse, the $18 unit, and that's running at like 1600 PSI. So that's not the problem. The problem is not that. Now, I can change the sooprinse one to a 1.1 and go with this like aftermarket 1.1, which I think I'm going to do. And this is actually labeled. I don't know if you could see that, but that's actually labeled 1.1, and that's how these things should be, right? There should be a label on there. You should know exactly what you're putting in this unit. Hopefully this thing will work in the thread. Yes. All right. So that one works. Fits in there. Let's just double check something. Let's run this real quick on the pressure washer and see what kind of PSI I'm getting. All right, so I'm back. And believe it or not, that 1.1, so the other one that was in it was definitely larger. This 1.1 aftermarket brought the PSI all the way up to 1900 PSI. So I'm running at 1900 PSI with this unit. Now the only thing that I'm curious, I kind of want to put the soap in here as it is and don't change anything to the screen and see if that kind of generates more soap. And maybe that's what I'll do. Just by changing that orifice to 1.1 and it increase the PSI, I don't know, maybe just the manifold's built a little differently. Who knows, I mean, maybe it's not the orifice itself, or maybe just increasing the orifice will just allow for more foam. I don't know. I mean, this is all like kind of like fun and games. I'm just kind of playing around right now. I mean, we're already kind of making improvements. So let's keep that at 1.1, right? So that definitely restricted the water flow through here, increasing the water pressure. Now let's see if we can get inside this unit here and see if we could change the screen. I kind of want to do that actually after I put soap in it. And so let's do that first. Let's put soap in it because I'm really like eager to see what it looks like. So let's put 3 ounces, or what did we say? 600 ounces of water, 3 ounces of soap, and see what it looks like. All right, so let's put this in here. Now I'm excited to use this soap because this is new to me. Definitely thicker than like a Car Pro Reset or Jimbo's Super Soaper. Smells like cherry. There we go. Kind of want to rinse this out a little bit, but that's okay. As long as I get most of it in here, I'm good. It's a very thick formula. Holy cow. Look at that. So we're going to have to slosh this around a little bit. But Wayne actually sent this. When I bought the soap, he sent the graduated cylinder here, so that we can kind of measure up, which I thought was really nice. So thank you, Wayne, for that. And he sent me this product out to try out. He said that I would be thrilled with it. So, all right. Let's mix this up a little bit. Maybe a warmer water would be better, kind of mix up a little bit better. And we can also try different soaps too, but this is supposed to be very good. Maybe because we went with a little bit more water, I'll add a little bit more soap. I did put 3 ounces, which is 88 milliliters, but I want to make sure that we get a good consistency. So I'll only put a little bit more. All right, let's try it out. Let's foam up the car. It's definitely improvement, for sure. It didn't look like this before. It was definitely a lot more runny. This is really good. And I still kind of want to change out the screen in here and see if that makes it even more of an improvement. Yeah, but that's pretty good. So let's go ahead and let's actually put this material into the MJJC and see what that looks like. Now I just want to show you how easy it is to get into this unit. So all you got to do is just remove this pin that's right here. Just grab it with some needle nose pliers. Actually, needle nose would be better. Kind of grab it and then you're pulling it out, right? You see that pin? That's what's holding this whole thing together. So then you could just draw this out, right? And there's the manifold that's inside the foam cannon. And in here, somewhere in here, probably have to rinse this out a little bit, there's a screen right in here, right? So we just have to get to that screen. There we go. All right. So this is the screen that's in it. All right. I mean, it looks like a good high quality screen. The one thing that it doesn't have though is in the middle of the screen. You see how this is one stainless steel unit? Hopefully you can see that. See that? All right. The new one is a 3-piece. So you'll see that there's a screen, 2 screens. Hopefully you guys can see that. 2 screens and then like a felt piece, right? And that combination of the 3 should give you better foam, right? That's the foam generator. So let's put that in there in that sequence, right? Stainless steel, felt, stainless steel. Put that inside here and see if, excuse me, see if there's any difference in how much foam is generated, right? So this is what you want. You want to kind of sandwich these two together. So you get the same thickness, right, out of the 2, but then you have this felt piece in here, which I believe is what's going to help you get that extra foam. So let's put that in here, just like that, right, in here, one by one. Hopefully it fits. Yeah, perfect. All right, perfect fit. Okay, so let's try this again. Let's put this in here, put this together, boom, put the pin back on. And sometimes what you need to do is you have to kind of push this in, you know, this piece in here in a little further so that you can get this pin in. I found that that can kind of get in the way, oh, but it worked. So it's all together. New 1.1 orifice, new screen with the felt in it at full maximum, same exact soap. Oh, now I'm excited, right? The new draw tube on there with the stainless steel hose, stainless steel ball that kind of like follows the fluid. So this is becoming a really nice unit for like 30 bucks, man. I mean, it's a third of the price. So let's go to the car. Let's try this one last time and let's see where we're at. And maybe what we'll do for the very final change, we'll put the orifice back on that was on there before and see if there's any difference. You know, I'm really curious. But let's try to do it this entire setup. 1.1 orifice, the new filters, the new draw tube. All right, moment of truth. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? That is snow foam. Can't go wrong. We just made this $18 unit work better than the MJJC. I think I found my go-to. All right, so we went back with the 1.25, supposedly the 1.25 orifice, the one that came with the unit. So the only thing that I changed was the draw tube right now and the filter screen that's here with the foam generator. Let's see. There's your answer. It's the foam generator. It's the filter system that's in the nozzle. That's what you have to change. I think that solved our issue. So we can even go back to the Bare Force foam cannon and make a change there and improve the foam on that one. So no need to spend too much money, just a couple bucks. All right, conclusions. The question was, can I get an $18 Amazon special foam cannon to perform just as well as a $90, $100, sometimes $150 foam cannon that you get direct from the manufacturer. Specifically this one, the MJJC, which is honestly one of my favorite foam cannons out there. It does an excellent job right out of the box. Don't have to think about it. Their customer service is excellent. Good luck finding customer service with these guys. I can't even find the company that makes these things. I mean, I honestly don't even know who the parent company is. They're both from a Chinese company. They're both made out of overseas. This one, you can get a hold of the manufacturer. They have a very good website. You can contact them. You know, customer service is there. You can reach out to them even on Instagram, and they'll get back to you. So I've had no problems whatsoever. But can I get this to perform just as well as the MJJC? I think I showed you, and I made very little changes. I changed the draw tube. I don't think that's making any difference whatsoever. It's the actual element in here in the nozzle. It's the filter / foam generator that's in this nozzle that's making the difference, right? The PSI, I mean, there was like a 300 PSI difference between both these foam cannons. 300. So that's not the difference. When I changed the orifice and I put the smaller orifice in it, did it make an adjustment? Did it make a difference? Yes, it did. But then I'm also running it like 1700 PSI. Do I really need to be running at those high, you know, at that high pressure? I don't have to be, right? I mean, it's drawing enough material out of the canister. It's sending the material through the foam generator up front here, and it's doing its job. So what I recommend is get this kit right here. I would order these draw tubes. You know, if you want, I would order these draw tubes. It would just makes the experience that much better. It's got a better screen on it. It's stainless steel. You can actually get the draw tube that's inside the MJJC directly from MJJC, and I think it's $9. But then I think you have to pay for shipping and stuff like that. On Amazon, you don't have to. So I'm going to put all the links of everything that I used today for this experiment to bring this up to snuff with the MJJC, right? So all I really needed to do, I kept the orifice in there, I changed the draw tube, and I changed the filter element with the foam generator. That's all I did, and it worked just as well. So that's what I would recommend. Buy those parts. It's inexpensive, and for half the price, you can get 2 of these units. So I hope you enjoyed this content. It was fun for me, and I wanted to kind of play around with these foam cannons. So like, subscribe, click that bell so that you get notified anytime something new comes out. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.